Hello friends, today I'm going to make a video on the renting rights in Ontario, like what rights you have as a tenant in Ontario. So first of all, I'll talk about the eviction rules, like when your landlord or landlady can evict you from their place. Your landlord can only evict you in specific situations and give you written notice in the proper form provided by the landlord and tenant board. Like they can't tell you like you have to go tomorrow and you have to leave my house. They have to like give you a proper notice, a written notice that they want you to evict their place and the proper reason for that. And then if they want to use any service they provided you while leasing the home or making the agreement, so if they are not giving you that service or taking that service back from you, so what you can do is you have the right to like you have the right to ask them for another equivalent service, or they must give you the equivalent of 1 month's rent. If you have paid $2,000 rent, so you have the right to get that back if they are taking any of the service provided you back, or you can ask for the same service or equivalent service. If they can provide you, they have to provide you. And then you first thing I would like to tell you, this is the major thing that people usually forget, and the people who are new to Canada, they don't know much about this. So first of all, you have to get a lease or rental agreement from your landlord or landlady if you are moving into a new house, because if you won't have the leases or agreements, then it's not legal. You can't get your rights, you cannot claim your rights if you are not having any document in written form. So you should have your lease or agreement if you are moving into new house, and it should be easily understandable means that it should be clearly written that how much amount you would be paying when it's due, like on 1st of every month or 5th of any of the date your landlord or you have agreed on. And then it should include the services which are provided to you, for example parking space, any other area that has been given to you by your landlord. And then rules or terms about the rental unit or building, any of the terms and conditions which you and your landlord have been agreed on, that should be written on the lease papers or the agreement. Okay, if you are entitled to a standard lease but didn't get one, if you are entitled, it means if you are able to get, you are entitled, it means you can get that. So ask your landlord in writing for a copy. You have to give a document in written form to your landlord, so that you will also have a proof that you have requested your landlord to give you a lease. Once you request it, they must give you it to you within 21 calendar days. 21 calendar days includes Saturdays and Sundays as well. So if they don't give you, then you can withhold 1 month's rent. So it's your right, you can do that. There's no problem in doing so. If they are harassing you, so you can do this one also, you have the right. If you still haven't received a standard lease 30 calendar days after you withheld 1 month rent, you can keep the withheld rent. Okay, so if you haven't paid the rent yet, so you can withhold your rent. And if even after 30 days they don't give you, so you can keep that rent with you. You don't have to give that rent to the landlord or landlady because they have harassed you. Okay. Okay, please note you cannot withhold more than 1 month's rent. So be careful, and you must continue paying your rent for the term of your lease, even if your landlord never gives you the standard lease. However, if a standard lease is not provided, special rules allow you to end your fixed term lease early. So this is a policy here, and the major thing here is rent increase limits. People are very much confused about how much rent their landlord or landlady can increase, so which due to which many people take advantage, and I'll show you here how much rent could be increased, so and when the rent can be increased. So here every year the limit changes. So here the limit for 2020 is 2.2%, that would be between 1st January and 31st January 2020. And then when the rent can be increased, in most cases the rent for a unit can be increased 12 months after the last rent increase. Like if your last rent was increased in January 1st January 2019, so your next rent can be increased in January 1st January 2020. Or for a tenant first moves in, like if you are the first tenant, so your landlord can tell you any amount he wants, it's his wish. So a tenant must be given a written notice of rent increase at least 90 days before it takes effect. Like if your landlord wants the rent to be increased on January 1st 2020, so she or he has to give you the written notice of 90 days, like 3 months prior to increasing the rent. And here is also a calculation, sample calculation is also given here. So your monthly rent was increased to $1,000 on June 1, 2019. The guideline for 2020 is 2.2%. An increase of 2.2% on 1,000 is $22. So don't just like, if your landlord says your rent will be increases 5,000, increase 5,000, 1,000, 2,000. No, it's not like that. You have to calculate as per the written percentage given by the government. Don't just pay the rent even before knowing your rights. So just be alert and check what all the guidelines are given by the government. Here is the chart, like every year how much the rent increases here. So for 2020 it's 2.2%, and last year it was 1.8%. so you can check it here how much rent could be increased. And then if you have any issue with your tenant, you can contact the landlord and tenant board, they can help you. So these are the things here. So basically my major concern was to tell you about the increase limit, how much rent could be increased and when it can be increased, and what are your basic rights if you are renting a place. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and send it to your friends as well who are renting a place, because it might help somebody. So thank you.